also facilities that can be placed on the right-of-ways. You can see a number of organizations have come out against it, including SEMCOG, Oakland County, Wayne County Executive, and the Road Commission of Oakland County, so I thought it would be helpful if we lent our voice to opposition of the Senate bill as well.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move that we adopt this resolution, and then just simply say that, unfortunately, the big money of the telecoms in Lansing will crush our voice when it comes to something like this. We were, of course, burned during the last round of cable television regulation of the right-of-way by the telecoms. Unfortunately, the environment in Lansing right now is not friendly to local government, not friendly to local control. And while I support doing this, I feel the writing's already on the wall. And once again, this is Lansing feeling they know what's best here in Huntington Woods and every other community in the state. And it's very offensive to those of us who are on the front lines of local government and on the front lines of delivering services to our citizens to be continually treated like this by our state legislature. Thank you.
Well, and what's
Do
upsetting...
we have a second?
Yes, second.
Thank you.
What's upsetting is, I think they're proposing like, we can charge $50, and some cities currently are negotiating $1,500 for that, so it's a huge loss of revenue. And it's fine if it was in their right-of-way or something like that, but this is normally in our right-of-way. And the reality is that the way this stuff is put up, it's hung all over everything. I think I asked the city manager and counted 25 to 30 of these devices in 2.5 blocks on Scotia.
Any
And
other
they,
comments?
very often, they don't even notify us or pull a permit when they put stuff up.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. City manager's report.
Yeah, I have a couple of things from different departments for residents to think about in November. The first is the election coming up on November 6th. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. It is a lengthy ballot, so we do have a place on our link on our website where you can go and you can view the ballot for your precinct so you can become familiar with it before you vote. Also, the League of Women Voters has a voter guide which you can access from our website. Recreation Department has asked me to let residents know that the tennis court lights will be turned off for the season on November 19th. One net will remain open for winter play at both the 11-mile court and the Recreation Center court, and the outdoor pickleball net will also come down November 19th. And lastly, our Code Enforcement Department has asked me to remind residents that it will be November next month. It's going to start snowing, and we need to have hedges and bushes trimmed back within 1 foot past the sidewalk so that our snow brooms can get by on the sidewalks and take the snow off and not be damaged by the bushes, because it's coming. And that's it.
Are there any questions of city manager? Okay.
Actually, I do have a couple. Can we request of DTE that an engineer come and make a presentation at the next meeting about why we had two power outages within 48 hours, why it was not clear when that would be open? They have a stock thing that it'll be open by 11:30 p.m. And they never had any kind of clear information. You had to discover it on your own, and we did not get anything from the city either. We had 30% of the homes out on Friday night to Saturday morning, and then a day later, we had it out for a good part of the day. They restored power within 3 to 8 hours. But every single announcement, if you went up to DTE, basically said the power will be restored by 11:30 p.m. They never modified that. That was phone, that was everything else. The other part of that is, at what point does a warming station get opened? And how do we communicate with people? I want to thank you on the bond information. That was extremely helpful, very detailed and very clear. But I was concerned that with the power outages, and actually it was not only 720 plus, and it was everything south of Lincoln, including Lincoln, from Wyoming to Coolidge. But it also, on the first outage, crossed into Pleasant Ridge and Oak Park. So it was an extreme large outage. I don't know if it's transformers or what, but I think DTE needs to explain it to the public in a regular session.
I have given them 3 addresses that were impacted by the power outage and asked for a report on what happened and also what the history has been. We get calls that there's frequent outages there, so that I have asked them for that. So as soon as I get that, I'll let you know.
But I think it would be nice, since there were so many homes out, for them to come here and explain what was it. It was just wind blowing the lines, and then about 30 hours later, winds blowing the lines. There was no wind, there was no rain.
Okay.
Commissioner Jenks,
I know
these people are never coming here to explain anything to us, you, or anybody else. We've been through this with DTE multiple times. They've never shown up once. And, I mean, the city manager can beg, borrow, cajole, whatever. Believe me, they're not coming here ever to tell us anything, period. The only time consumers showed up was when during the campaign, Joe engaged them one-on-one on the street and was able to get a guy to come in and explain some of the work they were doing. DTE is never coming here. They don't care.
I would still like the request being
Well, you
made.
can request,
I'd be
but
happy to do that.
but everybody gotta
I
respond.
believe they had previously come before you were,
Well, you know, I've only been here 9 years,
okay,
so
well,
maybe I must have missed that one.
You
Come and
okay?
inspect your chickens.
No.
Commissioners' remarks. Commissioner Jenks.
yeah, vote. It's extremely important. If you want to lower your expenses locally, then go to the polls, see what the candidates are, and start requiring that they do something. But it means you vote, it means your kids vote, and make sure everybody does that. The second thing is I want to do a shout out to Miko Rubio at Berkeley High School. He's one of the top soccer players, and Berkeley High probably is now ranked first in the state because of their recent win, and the first, second, and third team just lost.
Thank you. Commissioner Roselle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to piggyback on the voting thing, just to remind our residents, not only is it, of course, important to vote, but also remind them that we are in competition with Pleasant Ridge for a $1,000 Parks and Recreation grant, which will go to the community who has the largest percentage turnout. So we beat them in the primary. Of course, the contest is in the general. So I also would remind residents that this is the first time in Michigan's 140-year history, as long as we've been a state, that straight party voting will not appear on the ballot. And so residents who are accustomed to using that convenience will not find it on this November's ballot due to it being eliminated by the legislature. So it may take longer to mark their ballot. In fact, it will take longer to mark their ballot, which could potentially cause longer lines. So Remember, voters can skip the convenience and request an absentee ballot from our city clerk. If they're concerned about, a line on election day, they can opt for that convenience or, develop an election day plan to give themselves time. I had a cup of joe with Joe last week, resident meetings, which was a success, and thanks to those residents who showed up. Also, lastly, Mr. Mayor, I've been approached and have agreed to serve on the Library Network Board, this cooperative regional library representing Class 4 libraries throughout the state. So I will hopefully bring some value to that board and make sure that services are being delivered that benefit the citizens of this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Olsman?
I share the comments about voting and the critical importance of that to our whole world and way of life, and just encourage people to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. We do have a presentation this Friday at Farina's starting at 8 a.m., which is the state of the city for both Huntington Woods, Berkeley, and the Berkeley School District. I invite all of you elected officials to attend, and city staff, and any residents that are interested. Hope to see you there.
Who will be speaking?
Your mayor will be
Oh,
speaking,
good.
representing Huntington Woods. So with that, meeting is adjourned. We'll reconvene in a couple of minutes, more or less.